Hey you guys, welcome to Splinterlands TV. It is I, the Psy, and today we are going to learn about creating a deck and renting cards. As you guys know, I'm in the process of having a new streamer challenge. I'm doing that with Dolo Knight and Gathering the Magic, and as such, I've had to learn all about how to rent cards. It's something that I hadn't done before. I'm typically a card owner. But thrust into this new account situation, I'm doing a lot of rentals. And at first, I was literally going into Splinterlands. I was clicking on each of the individual cards that I wanted. Let's go to shop, go to Rebellion. Items, we'll go to cards. I was clicking on each of the items that I wanted to rent. And I was going to for rent, and I was choosing the card, and I was clicking on rent. And it was taking forever because, I was building like almost full decks and, or I should say I was renting almost full splinters. And in doing so, I was just getting nowhere fast. And it was quite frustrating because each time you have to go in, you gotta click on it. You gotta choose to organize it by price per BCX up or price per BCX down and just click everywhere. So I was looking for a more efficient way to actually rent my cards, and that's when I stumbled upon, well, I already knew about it, but that's when I came to Peakmonsters and decided to try and figure out their card rental systems. And I was super impressed. So big shout out to the Peakmonsters team, and for that streamer challenge, big shout out to Thorlock and Drip. If you guys are not using Drip yet and don't know about how you can earn SPS, as well as more Drip for staking the Drip, be sure to go and check that out. I'll include a link down in the description as well of this video where you can go and take a look at our sponsors. And just to kind of do a plug here, the winner of that streamer challenge is going to receive a tofu, an eternal tofu that we'll be giving out to our followers. And on top of that, I've also got the silent social media challenge happening right now. So be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, and leave me a comment on this video as well as in the Hive post. And every time you comment, you're going to get an entry into a draw for Chaos Legion packs at the end of the Splinterlands season. Now, that being said, let's get back on with this tutorial. So first things first, I was going to rentals and I was trying to rent the cards that I needed. And obviously I'd click on modern and I'd go through the cards and I try and do my bids and add them to the shopping cart one by one. But I found that there was a more efficient way that I'd be able to do this. And that was by first creating a deck list. So that's the first thing I want to talk to. This is kind of going to be a two-part video. First on creating your deck list, and then on actually renting the cards within your deck list. Now, I find that making a deck list is probably the best way to start off with, because instead of you having to scroll down and have like a little piece of paper or something like that that shows like what cards you want to rent and having to write it all down like something like this, this isn't necessarily a rental list, but you get what I'm talking about, and then scrolling through it every time and finding out, oh, it's a Wolf's Castle, finding out what cards you want and going and clicking and checking on them all. You can create a deck that will actually do all of these things for you. So here's how we're going to create our deck, and then we're going to rent the cards within that deck. For purposes of this video, we're just going to use Life as our example, okay? Because Life is one of the sets that I'm not getting from the Brave Tofu Ambassador Program. If you're a new player, check out Brave Tofu's Ambassador Program. I'll go ahead and I'll create a link to that in the description of this video as well. He's got some great promotions going on, including delegating you some SPS for a month, as well as 2 full splinters. And I'm using right now, I'm using water and I'm using earth. But that's kind of besides the point. Let's go, let's build our deck. We're going to build the Life deck that we're going to want to rent, and then we can rent those cards. So we're going to go to buy decks to start off with. So if you're following along at peakmonsters.com, you're going to click on buy decks up at the top. Now, I've already got like I've deleted most of my decks because I'm going to be redoing it as one big rental deck instead of as a bunch of individuals like what I had before. Like you can see, I just had Water and Earth promos that I was renting. But I'm going to create one big deck to save myself a lot of time now that I'm more familiar with how to do it. But to create your deck, we're going to click on My Decks, and then we're going to go over here to the right, and we're going to click on Build. So you can still see that my head isn't blocking it. We're going to click on Build. By clicking on build, it's going to show you all the cards that exist pretty much. It's going to show you all the summoners. It's going to show you all the additions. And so you might be asking yourself, hey, I mean, I don't want to build by summoner. I don't really want to build by a deck like this. I want to be able to add all the cards I want to rent. Now, you can go ahead and you can just be like, you know what? I just want to build a deck using, we'll say Lux Vega. You click on Lux Vega, you get all these cards that show up. These are all the cards that can be used with Lux Vega. That's all fine and dandy. But what we actually want to do in this case, though, is we're actually going to do, instead of fixed battle lineup, which is going to be using one summoner, we're actually going to change things up, and we're going to go to thematic, I believe is what we're going to want here. We're going to change our deck name. We're going to call it My Rentals. There we go. And then we can go ahead and we can add all the cards that we're going to want here. Now, I've got Lux Vega already in there. Here she is. I'm going to remove her for now. We're going to cancel that. And we're going to create the deck. So we're going to go to build again. My decks. Build. We're going to choose thematic. And we're going to choose our cards. Now, I do have Lux Vega in here. And I'm going to remove her for now. Okay. I'll remove Lux as my search, but if there was an individual card you wanted, you could do searching as well. Now, like I said, we do want to go ahead and we want to do life for purposes of this example. So I'm going to go over here and additions. You can see all the options that exist. Elements. We can choose life, right? Because that's what we're going to do. Rarities. Regular or gold foil. We can choose the levels that we're going to want them at. Maybe we only want to do gold as far as this list. We can do that. For our purposes, we're probably going to end up doing max for everything. And there's a couple that we're going to change. So I want to rent max level cards. There's a whole bunch of reasons for wanting to rent max. But I find that if I want to compete at the highest levels, I need maximum cards to do that. And for the prices that you're going to pay and the SPS that you're going to win, winning is good, and using high-level cards is going to help you win. Therefore, that's what I'm going to do. Now, to start off with, I'm going to go into sets, and I'm going to start with Chaos Legion, because Chaos Legion is pretty much the most affordable of the sets right now, and I want all of these cards. And you add the cards just by clicking on them. You can see just by clicking on the card, it will add them to this deck list that you're creating. And then we're going to go in and we're going to modify them a little bit, because right now we're adding max level cards, but they can be quite expensive. For instance, Iziar as a 4-star is very costly to rent. When you want to change the level of the card, you would just go to it, you would click on the downward arrow, and you would choose the level. In my case, I only want a level 1 Iziar. All I really want is I want to have the Void and I want to have a Taunt. And when I'm looking at Inevitable, I'm only going to want a level 2 Inevitable. Because that gives triage, it gives shield. In fact, I haven't even been using an inevitable that often. I might just actually want to have the triage on it for its most useful ability, because I'm trying to play on a budget as well, and I'm really cheap. So I'm actually just going to go in here now. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to choose the levels at which I want to add the cards to the deck. I don't need a max level Corsair Bosun for my purposes. I think I only need a level 5 when he gets cleanse. You can see at level 5 he gets cleansed, so I'm just going to go with the level 5 Bosun. The Atuat, he's cheap to rent, so we'll leave him how he is. Drybone is something I'm actually going to remove because he's one of the more expensive reward cards. So maybe I won't remove him, but we'll see his different levels. We'll see a level 5. There we go. So he's got Retaliate, and he's got Enrage at level 5 with a 5 attack. And if we were to go and do level 4... got a 5 attack with just Enrage. So level 5 is where we want it to be. So you can see how easy it is to customize these things. Time Meddler, I want him more for when I'm using, what's that guy's name? Over here, when I'm using Grandmaster Wraith. So I don't need him to be perfect. I kind of think he's at 6-star when he gains his ability. There we go, he gains Return Fire as a 6-star. But basically everything from Rebellion, we're going to want those guys maxed, right? Rebellion reward cards will want maxed. War Pegasus is a great card, but again, if you're going to get into the 8 rentals, he gets pretty expensive. So I'm actually going to shrink him down into, is 5-star where he gets good? No. Is it 6-star where he gets good? 6-star? Nope. So he's actually good earlier than that. So it must actually maybe be 4-star where he gets good. We'll do 4-star. He's got 3 attack. He's got Shield Breaker. How cheap can I go? Okay. So at 3-star, he only has 2 attack. So I'm actually going to try and get a 4-star. We'll see that over here. 4-star War Pegasus. Same with Imperial Knight. He's one of those rentals that ends up being quite expensive. I think at 5-star, there we go. At 5-star, he's got Void Armor and he's got Tank Heal, or Heal, I should say. What about at 4-star? At 4-star, he doesn't have Heal. So I'm going to set up my rental to do him with a 5-star because now he has Heal. Zerial, I only want as a 1. Like I said, you can modify all of these things. I only be able to want to add the weapons training. I don't care so much about anything else. And then Chaos Knight, anything from Rebellion, I can go hard with. Maki Exile, again, expensive as a max. At 4-star, he's got 3 attack, but he doesn't have the one that kills taunt creatures. At 5-star, he doesn't. At 6-star, he gains Ferocity. So I'm going to try and get him as a 6-star. Ave Sturges, very expensive to rent. I'm only going to get a 1-star of Aves, although 3-star is really beneficial. I'm actually going to remove Franz altogether. He's too expensive for me. With the Runeslinger, I'm going to go through. And it may seem like it's taking a long time, but the beautiful thing about these lists, at 4-star he gets it. What about a 3-star? At 3-star he doesn't have Afflict, so I want a 4-star if I can. There we go, he gains Afflict. So it might seem to you right now like it's taking a long time to set this up, but I'm not going to deny that when you're first going through it and you're setting up your lists, indeed, it takes a little bit of time. But the good thing is, with what we're doing right now, and I think I might only want a 1-star, with what we're doing right now, is we're going to be able to use this list as many times as we want in order to save ourselves time in the future. So a little bit of time setting up right now. Ilthian's too expensive to rent. We're going to remove him. So a little bit of time spent setting things up right now is going to save us a lot of time in the future. So I've got things kind of the way that I want them right now. I've got my rental list all set up with the cards that I want to rent, or at least, sorry, to rent. And I've got them all set within this list. And we can see that the way that we've done it, just by choosing life and having chaos here, it's gotten us all of the special promo cards as well, and it's gotten us the Rift Watcher cards as well. Now, we could also do Untamed, Beta, Alpha. We could do all. It would show everything. We can also do Rebellion in here if we wanted to add some Rebellion cards. It will show us the cards that we have not yet added to the list underneath it. But for purposes of what we're doing here, I think that we are probably not going to rent any Rebellion. Oh, yeah, we need an Anachron Bolter. And the Anachron Bolter level we need is something that's going to give the repair. What's the lowest version of this one? Does 5-star do it? Nope, so it must be 6-star. There we go. We'll see if we get a 6-star Anachron Bolter in there as well, because we need that Headwinds, which is very beneficial. There's lots of other great cards in Rebellion as well, but like I said, if you're kind of trying to play it like as cheap as possible, Rebellion cards, ooh, maybe we should try and get a level 1 Rick. Let's see, level 1 Rick doesn't even matter. You might just want to have him because he deals 5 for 11 and he's a great card. So I might try and get him as well. I think that's what we're going to do for Rebellion. We're good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come down to the bottom. And why isn't it letting me click on confirm? Oh, because I have to add a deck of names. We're going to call this Life Rental Deck for purposes of this test. Once you've entered the name, once you've selected the cards and the level you want to rent them at, you're going to scroll down to the very bottom and you're going to click confirm. That's going to take you all the way back to your main screen where you're clicking on my decks and all this shows up. So I'll go to my cards just so you can see, and then we're going to click on my decks and boom, here we are, we're back. Now, the best part about these decks is when you click on it and it brings us in, you'll see that it shows every card in here with the rental value of it. If it says check market or soulbound, you might not be able to get the card. So I'll probably remove the Evelyn Overa from this. And General Sloan, it's not going to be able to rent it at the prices that it says. A lot of these, when we try and add them to cart, it's not going to add them for this price. But it will show you the season level of the rental itself. Or you can go ahead and you can rent it by the day. But if we were to go ahead here now, and here's the beautiful thing, we can click on add all. Watch this. and it's going to go down the list. It's going to turn green on the shopping carts that it could rent for us automatically, and then it's going to give us a report. And it says 3 cards out of 26 were successfully added at 6.4 DEC a day. So now we've added these guys in here for us, and boom, we're good to go. If we were to check our shopping cart, it would show us right here which cards are added. Now the thing is, it did it seasonally, and in this case we don't want it for the season. So we're going to go and we're going to cancel these out. Let's actually edit this, and we're going to, instead of making it a seasonal rental, there we go. Actually, seasonal rental is probably what we want, so it doesn't get canceled. And in fact, because of the new, I'm going to leave it like this with seasonal rentals for purposes of creating this list, because of the fact that they're probably going to go ahead and no, we'll go ahead and we'll delete these. We'll remove them from the shopping cart. So to remove it from the shopping cart, you just go into the shopping cart. You can click on the big trash can over here, and it will be removed. Now, the reason why I was going to do it for seasonal for a lot of these guys is because if we go and we look, we can see that the daily rental on, say, Inevitable is 1.459 for the daily rental, but for the seasonal rental, it's 1.6 per day. So it actually ends up more expensive, but sometimes you can find a discrepancy on it. I'm not showing any of those discrepancies, but let's go ahead, let's click on add with a shopping cart for just the rental for 2-day rental. And here we go. It's going down the list. You can see that it's able to fill a lot more of them from seasonal into just the daily rentals. Boom. It found 17 out of the 26 cards that have been added for 298 DE a day. Now when we go to shopping cart, we see that these guys here are properly in for the specified amounts. Ooh, Zerial's 23 a day. I very rarely use Zerial. And look, Rick is 189 a day. So we're actually going to go and we're going to delete Rick from that. He's too expensive for me. Sorry, Rick, I want you. But 189 DEC a day, that's unacceptable. Zerial at level 2. I didn't want a level 2 Zerial. I only wanted a level 1 Zerial, so I must have made a mistake there. Oh, yep, so we're going to get rid of that Zerial. And the rest of these guys look acceptable to me. Corsair Bosun, Tribal Barbarian at level 8. I don't think we wanted him at level 8, but I mean, for only the 7 DE, pretty good. War Pegasus 14. So here I'm going ahead. I mean, I'm willing to pay the 19 for this Anacron Bolter because he literally is going to win you some of those ranged only matches. So this shows you basically what you're looking at. Now, as you can see, we weren't able to get everything, okay? So we're going to go now and we're going to set up the second part of what we're doing. I'm going to click on rent. So now we've got a bunch of these in our little shopping cart already. We've got 15 out of our 23. I'm going to click on rent up at the top. Here we go. Now, from the rentals, though, you'll see that there's on the right-hand side an option that says in deck, not selected. We're going to choose life rental deck. And here we go. Now it's gone ahead and it's brought up our life rental deck. And you can see that it's already got a bunch of these guys in our shopping cart. So if we were to go and we were to look at this Adelaide Brightwing, who I've got her rented for the season right now. So it was a little bit less expensive for me to do that for her. But you can see what it's going to put in here. We try and find someone who's already rented. Shopping cart. Here we go. So we can see our Jin Renova, who should be in the shopping cart and hasn't been rented yet. And we've got these guys who are trying to be rented a second time, so I'm going to have to remove them. Maybe I shouldn't have done this one. Maybe I should have done something else. But here we go. So we're going to go and we're going to look for our Jin Renova in this case. H-I-J-K, War Pegasus. Maybe I've got it backwards. Maybe that means that it's not in the shopping cart yet when it's blue. Yeah, so if it's red, it's in the shopping cart. And if it's blue, it's not. Let's see, is Aves in here? Yeah. So if it's red, it's in the shopping cart. We can see that I got the Aves in there. I'm not actually going to go and rent these because you can see that I'm kind of already have some of these rented. But red is in the shopping cart already and blue is not in the shopping cart. Or did I just say that backwards again? Let me just double check one more time. Now I'm confusing myself here. There's Jared Scar. Jared Scar is in the shopping cart and It is red. Okay, so red means in the shopping cart and blue means outside of the shopping cart. So I see that I have some that are already rented. So I'm actually going to go down here. I'm going to use the filters and I'm going to actually choose rented and I'm going to choose exclude. I don't want to see the ones that I've already got rented. Okay, so if you've already got some cards rented, you can actually scroll down. You can click on exclude down right here at the bottom. That way you're not going to accidentally double rent. Okay, but I don't have a Zerial rented yet. And as we know, I didn't want the 2-star Zerial. So you can click on this collated copy of all the cards. You'll see them all stacked up. Oh, that's why there was only a level 2 for rent at 23 DEC a day. So I'm actually going to not rent the Zerial right now. I very rarely used the Zerial. I think that I'm going to avoid the Zerial for the time. No, you know what? I'm going to go big or go home here. I'm going to get the Zerial. I'm going to add this level 2 to my cart. So it shows you the options of what you can add. And if I wanted a 4-star, I could come down here. I could click on the add button for a 4-star. But since in this case, I only want a 2-star because I can't get my 1-star, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to click the shopping cart add. You can see it now turns red and it's in this shopping cart as a Zerial that's now being rented as a level 2. Close up my shopping cart. So another example here is the Gin Renova. I'm going to click on the collated copies. I'm going to scroll down to the Gin Renova. I'm actually going to click on Max because this will show me only the Max cards. And now I'll click on the Gin Renova. Uh-oh, no cards available at that level. I can't believe it, but I cannot rent a Gin Renova right now. That's something, man. All right, what about the Venari? I wanted him. No cards available. Portal Spinner? No cards available. Bulgine? No cards available. Wow. So it didn't get these because there's just no cards available. No cards available for Gargoyle Scrapper. No cards available for Blinding Reflector. What is going on here? Drybone? There we go. So we've got some Drybone, but I don't want him because he was 8. What about this Time Meddler? There we go. 12 for the Time Meddler at max. Let's turn off the max because now we're at the spot where we don't necessarily want max cards. So Iziar's in there, and he's in as a 1B, 227. So we actually don't want this Iziar in at 227. I don't see him in here, although. Where is he? Okay, good. We've got him in as a level 1. Perfect. All right, let's close our shopping cart icon. Let's see who else we can get. Gargoyle Scrapper. Let's check the copies that are available. And the only, wow, look at that. Gargoyle Scrapper is only available as a max as a 6-star. So I guess we'll take what we can get. Oh, maybe there's more cards available. That's it. So all cards. Look at that. This 6-star Scrapper is all that exists. Man, the rental market is going crazy right now because I'm normally able to rent these cards whenever I want, and now they're not here anymore. Okay, Blinding Reflector. I really wanted a max of this guy, but it looks like a 5's all I can get. I mean, I'll add him for now. And then Rick, I don't want the Rick because he's too expensive. But we'll see. Look at all these ones that are missing right now. The Gin Renova. I guess the max I could get is a 4-star. I'll add it for now. The Evelyn, I don't even know if I want Evelyn, but I want to be able to weapons train her. I can only get 1 and 2 stars. I mean, for 1 DEC, I'll just add a 1-star. For the Prismologist, oh geez, look at that. I can get a 6-star Prismologist. Fortunately, it's already in my basket. So I don't know why I looked at it again. This is just crazy that the rental market is so dry right now on cards. So there is a difference between renting and owning, and this is one of the good things about owning is you don't have to worry about things being totally rented out. Like, for instance, here, the best I can get is a 4-star. Look at that. Okay, I guess I'll add a 4-star for now, but I don't think I'm going to win at the max levels with a 4-star. Portal Spinner. What can I get for a Portal Spinner? A 3-star? No way. A 3-star is the maximum Portal Spinner I can get right now as well. This is crazy, you guys. Remember when you could just rent whatever you wanted? Those days are dead. Those days are gone. So for the one DEC, I'll go ahead and I'll add that in there as well. We'll close that one up. And we'll come over here to General Sloan. You can't even rent a max level General Sloan right now. So I'm not even going to bother to get a 5-star Sloan. Yeah, I was hoping I'd be able to get everything max level here for you. How's it going, Darren? But unfortunately, I can't even get the max level. For purposes of this example, though, I mean, we're just going to go through and you'll just kind of see the process in this video of being able to do the rentals. Now, once you've got everything in your shopping cart, you click on the big shopping cart at the top, it's going to show you that you got 22 of them that are rented, and look at that. This Prismologist got rented right out from underneath me. So I'm going to need to go and get another Prismologist over here. There we go. Click on the copies. See if I can get another 6-star, and we'll scoop this guy up and put him in the bag instead. There we go. So we'll get rid of the invalids. And there we go. So we've got our 6-star. Now when we go ahead and we click on daily rental, I'm going to shrink that to 2. And we'll see that our daily rental cost is 111 DEC a day. For our daily rental total for these 2 days that we're going to rent these cards is 222,764 as far as DEC, or 176 credits. So when you want to rent these cards, you would just go ahead, you would click on the 222 and 764 DEC. That would rent those cards for you. Again, for purposes of this tutorial, I'm not actually going to rent these yet. I'm going to have to create a bigger list, and I want to try and get everything on my list in one rental so I can keep better track of where I'm spending my DEC and my credits. But that's how you would do a rental off of your created deck list. And it's crazy to me that since we've changed everything to being a 1 DEC minimum rental, and now these cards just aren't available to be rented anymore. Who would have imagined that with the huge supply of Chaos Legion that exists, that the rental market is dry? Like, I know I wouldn't have imagined, but here we are, right? So we need some people to go and buy a bunch of those Chaos Legion packs and open them so we can get more cards on the market, because I can't even rent max level Chaos Legion cards right now for life. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. That is how you go ahead and you first create a deck by clicking on My Decks, clicking on Build, and choosing Thematic is my favorite way to do it, and then choosing whatever you'd like from within the theme. That's how you create a deck. And then there's also renting the cards themselves, which you would go through. You'd rent the cards that you'd like, or you can go ahead here and from My Decks, this is the best part of it. You click on the deck and you can click on this plus button on the shopping cart for either the seasonal shopping cart, which is very likely what I think is all that's going to exist in the future, or the daily shopping cart, which is right over here. So I hope this guys has given you a little tutorial on how to use Peakmonsters. Be sure to show those guys some support. Again, that's at peakmonsters.com, and I'll include a link in the video to it. But yeah, building a deck, then renting off of that built deck is what I found to be most time efficient. Look at this, has there even been more? Yep, while we were talking, even more cards went invalid, it looks like. Lost that other Prismologist as well. But I find that building the deck list and then renting off of the deck list helps you keep track of those cards that you want, and allows you to be efficient in actually renting those cards. Because once you've created the deck, which does take a while, you can very easily find those cards over again. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video tutorial. Make sure to do a like, share, subscribe, all those other cool things. Don't forget about the Silent Social Media Challenge. Leave yourself with your Splinterlands ID, as well as a comment in the comment section that'll enter you into the draw for some Chaos Legion packs that I give out at the end of every season. There's 3 seasons left of that, so if you don't want to miss out, I'm actually giving away 6 packs a season. We had some winners last time, 3 winners in 3, 2, 1 packs, and you can be the next big winner. So I hope to see you guys around Praetoria, and until next time, it's I the Psy, signing out. Have fun finding those rentals, my friend. It's getting sparse out there. It's tumbleweeds. So see you soon. Take care.